Okay, great. So civilization, where did it come from? It's an awesome thing. One of the very important things that we did in making civilization is we have this amazing ability to turn glue into food, which is kind of nutty, but it's very, very useful. Okay, so we have these plants and they're wheat and we grind them up and we make them into, this is basically turning glue into this totally delicious stuff. So this is my bread, and I thought I would tell you a little bit about my bread. This is also the only thing that I make that my kids will actually eat. All the other things are weird. Anyway, the amazing thing about bread is here's what you have to put in. Here's what I put into my bread. Flour and water and salt. And literally, that is the only stuff that I put into my bread. All right? And there's a teeny little asterisk in there. But here's what I don't put in. I don't put in the dough conditioning agents. I don't put in any sugar. I don't put in any isothiazolinone. I think it's actually a shampoo. But anyway, next time you're buying some bread at the store, pick it up. Take a look at the list of ingredients. It's weird. Okay, here's what you do need, right? There's a symbiotic thing from yeast and bacteria, which is sort of doing the magic of turning this hard gluten into this amazing, fluffy, delicious bread. Question is, how does it get there if I'm not putting it in? All right, and the answer is this is sort of the ultimate anti-engineering thing. Okay, this is kind of like a faith thing. It's like you make a little home for these little things, and then you wait, and they just kind of come in from nowhere. It's crazy. All right, so what I'm going to show you is how I feed my yeast. I do this about every day or 2 days. But it turns out that the same thing works if you don't have any yeast. You could just start doing this, and they will come like little fairies dancing down into your metal bowl. All right, so there's my metal bowl. Yeah, there's my yeast. It's a large and sort of a disturbing looking picture there. So the yeast, it kind of grows for a while, and then it shrinks back down as it gets warmer. Sure, it gets kind of sourer and sourer as it goes. So now I've put some water in my bowl. You could tell because it says 40 on the side, but water is clear, so otherwise the size is sliding just like the last one. All right, so the next thing you have to do is you have to pour in a bit of your yeast. And so if you don't have any yeast, this is the crazy thing. This is what I'm saying to you. Just skip this step, right? And eventually it will work. Right? Just like hold the empty. You don't have to hold the empty glass. You can see this yeast is fairly happy. It's kind of bubbly. It's about a day and a half old. So there it is. Now it's in the bowl. The bowl is so big, and it's got these nice little bubbles in it, and it looks kind of clumpy and lumpy. And then the next step is very exciting because you have to stir it up. This slide, I really need to have a separate slide for stir it up. So we're going to enjoy this for 15 seconds.
40 grams. Yeast.
20 grams of food. Okay, great. And then you throw in some flour, right? Okay, so get some nice flour that doesn't, not like the bleached stuff. The bleached stuff is weird. Get some normal bread flour. This is kind of a 50-50 mix. It's King Arthur, but it doesn't really matter what it is. And you dump it on in there. So we got 20 grams of the yeast stuff and then 40 grams of the water and the flour. And you stir it all up, and it looks kind of poopy. And then you put it in a little jar, and you let it sit, and it kind of goes up and then down. And crazy stuff happens in the first couple of weeks because the colonies are just getting interested in your stuff. And you can have your roommates smell it, and your roommates will go, "Oh my God, that smells terrible!" And you're like, "Yes, it's fascinating, isn't it?" and so I actually brought some of my yeast. Not that it's really well. I actually have a picture. Oh, it's growing pretty well. Yeah, there's the. That's a picture of this. It's pretty gross, doesn't it? Yeast is kind of a disturbing looking thing. But we put up with it because when you're all done with it, what it makes is delicious bread. So, anyway, that's all I have to say.